Welcome to Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey.
I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
We are Brunch with Besties podcast. Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations.
Yep.
Today, we're still talking about surviving R. Kelly.
I know, right? it was a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we're going to start like we always do with a toast.
All right. So I'm going to give my toast again. I don't know if I did last time. I probably did. But Founders Day is over for everybody. January was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was just like, woo, a lot of celebrations. But Founders Day is over. So I'm giving my toast to January flying by. Like, we're almost done. This is great.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Double toast.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sitting here in my uninterrupted white because I just finished another Founders Day event. So I think that this officially wraps everything up.
We're done. Like, right. Woo, about time. And I have one more event to go to later, so not quite done.
But shouts out to Selena Johnson.
Oh,
Sister Circle.
Come on, Sora.
Because on you guys' Founders Day, she came out and she said, just so we're clear.
Yes. Did a twirl and everything.
And she had on this beautiful like sweater wrap.
Yeah.
That said 1920.
Yes, it was beautiful. So wherever she got that
gorgeous.
from, any Greek vendors out there, send me one. That was nice.
It was nice. And if you have it in pink and green.
No, that's right. Send the Besties one. We'll
Yes.
take one in our respective colors.
And
But that was
shouts
nice.
out to Sunny on The View because she had on her 1908 shirt.
Yeah, she did.
Looking
She
gorgeous.
did.
I was like, come on, girl.
Yes, and shout out to B Fashion Week Greek. I believe that's where she got that from. So shout out with the dope Perry. So that was awesome.
Yes. All right, so let's break bread. What's going on, girl?
We are in a frozen tundra apparently. Like, it's blizzarding in Wisconsin. You shouldn't be surprised, but it's just crazy how
I was shocked. I was like,
so Sherry Renee is one of those people where it's like, bro, it's been snowing since 1886 or however long this has been a state. So it's just like, come on, y'all. So our cousins was cutting up, especially last night, and not shout out to the city of Milwaukee, because last night it started snowing and the roads are like terrible. Like, they were just like y'all. And it was just a mess driving around last night, and even this morning.
There were a lot of accidents. I saw a lot of so we had a Founders Day celebration last night, and I saw a lot of people hitting poles.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
And what was it, 5 to 6 inches?
Yeah. Yep. The roads are just really terrible. So come on, Milwaukee, we got to do better. So that's what I'm going through. And today I had to shovel my car out. Thank you for boyfriends and who come over and shovel, because I was just like, oh no, what to do?
Whatever you did last year.
Right. And last year was a mess, because last year it didn't snow till April. So I was just like, okay. But this year, brand new. But it was a lot. And I was just like, bro, I can't do this by myself. Because usually my neighbors, shout out to my neighbors, they do it for me. So I really haven't had to do much. And he did it today, so I'm like, thank God, because I couldn't. But my car is a mess, and I still didn't get none of the snow off the front of my car, so it was blowing everywhere, because I was like, ain't nobody got time. So yeah.
Well, a little snow in the car ain't never stopped.
It ain't gonna stop me.
A person from Milwaukee.
Listen, I was like, all right, I gotta go. So yeah.
But yeah, I was shocked and appalled. I mean, they said it was going to snow, but they be saying stuff all the time.
They do.
And I think last week it sprinkled a little bit, but it didn't stick.
Yep.
So when they said it was going to snow, I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
so I didn't prepare at all.
Hey.
And then it didn't just snow. It snow.
It was a blizzard.
And I was like, oh, it's snowing.
It's real out
so
here.
when you said snow, you meant snow.
Snow.
Like stick snow.
It's real. Inches.
I thought they meant the little thing that it did last week.
Nah.
Because I was like, oh, that ain't snow. Whatever. Toughen up. I ain't no punk out here.
No.
But
it's inches out here, y'all.
Yeah, it was bad. And so then I was at my dad's house, and so he got up and was shoveling. And I was like, well, guess I can go back to sleep.
Right. Can't even get out.
So that's how I got out. Otherwise, I might still be in.
Hey, listen.
I don't know.
Because, girl, I probably would have too if it would have been for him. Because it was a lot. I wasn't prepared for that either. So I guess I was shocked.
Never would have made it.
Never would have made it.
But, yeah, so that's what's going on with me, too. I'm still shocked. I I got on my boots and everything. I was like, that.
Yes. Listen, got her boots and all her
and I couldn't find them
life.
yesterday, so I was like having a fit, and then I finally found them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank God, because I'm like, I know she ain't out here just with her white on, because no, it's a blizzard.
Yeah, it's a blizzard.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with me. So for our tip, again, we're still trying to give y'all time to read Michelle Obama's Becoming.
Yeah, you got to.
Because it's amazing. And you can listen on Audible. Yep. www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties. That is the tip.
Yes, and that's the #1 book on Amazon. Like #1 book in the I don't know if it's the world or the country. But shout out to Michelle Obama, who just celebrated a birthday too. So happy birthday, Capricorn sister.
Oh, she a Capricorn?
Yep. She is.
Interesting.
She is. January 17th.
January 17th.
Yep.
And she will be here in March.
Yes.
And I will be there front and center.
Lit. That's going to be wonderful.
Having the time of my life.
Getting your life.
Getting my whole life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Surviving R. Kelly Part 2.
Oh, gosh.
So they've been saying that he's been having like panic attacks.
I saw reports of that, and and
I was like,
it seems like
what do you think these women are having?
For sure, for that, yeah. And it's like natural consequence, #2, and it's just like I feel like it's a ploy to just keep him out, keep himself out of it. But it's just like, we don't care about your panic attacks, like, so.
But I was wondering if, okay, in my mind, the panic attack isn't. It's out of fear of what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this horrible thing to these women. It's not like, I'm not perceiving it as remorse. So for a second, I thought you had a snowsuit. I was like, wait a minute. Because you was zipping like real low. And I was like, wait a minute.
I wish
if she takes her feet out of this coat, I'm going to have a fit.
That would be so bomb right now if I had a snowsuit. So shout out to anybody want to send me one.
No.
I wear size large.
No, do not send her a snowsuit.
Goodness. But no, I totally agree with you. I don't think it's out of remorse. I think it's out of him like, I need to cover myself up.
Right, like, oh my God, they're gonna put me under the jail.
Yeah. That's all that is. Because when they said it, I think people didn't even take it seriously either. Like, we saw the report and everybody was just like, womp womp. Like, okay, you having a panic attack,
right? Like, that's the least,
right?
That's the least you could do,
right? Sure.
At this point, is have a panic attack.
You've been terrorizing.
It's
all
actually
kind
of selfish, you having a panic attack, right now.
And we supposed to care about you and your panic attack when you've been causing
like,
havoc.
Sympathy, like now you're like you want to be the victim.
That's what I think he is doing with. And that's that narcissism that he wants that deflection to be back on him.
Yeah, like
he needs the focus to be back on him. But we not giving it to you. If you're having a panic attack, then hey, we don't know what to tell you. It's too bad. Listen, panic all. I don't know what you panicking for.
I was listening to The Breakfast Club, and they were like, "Could you imagine the nurses? Because I guess they're calling doctors and nurses to the house or whatever to check on him or whatever. Like, could you imagine having to care, like, be his caretaker?" And I was like, huh.
Wow, that's that. And you know that happens, especially to our medical people. And
so what Charlamagne said was,
what did he say?
He would show up and be like, "We don't take your insurance."
I cannot take Charlamagne. It was funny.
Oh, we don't take your insurance. Like, oh, okay, really?
I'm paying with cash.
You don't even know what kind of insurance I have, and I'm sure I have A1.
He's a mess.
But I'm sorry, sir.
Listen,
we don't take your
insurance.
Take you.
Not that kind.
Whatever it is that you have, we don't take.
So I even have a chance to tell you yet what kind it is.
But I was like, that's hilarious.
Oh God, he's a trip. But that's for sure. But that, I mean, when you see like child molesters or rapists, and you're a medical person, you have to work on this person, like. Yeah, that is.
And I mean,
that.
there
How
are
do you feel?
Nurses and doctors that take care of inmates as well.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I guess it depends on how informed they are with what's going on in the media.
Yeah.
But,
and then I think that's an ethical thing. Like, did they take an oath to, like, I don't know, help people or whatever it is? I don't know what they do, but
did.
Okay. So then it's just like you got to put those biases away and you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. And I think that if I was a caretaker, I would think the same thing. Like, you know what? I don't get to judge him.
Yeah.
You know, clearly we do on our podcast. But as a medical professional, I don't get to judge him. No. And if someone needs my help, I want to, you know, and actually I want him to be alive to suffer all the consequences.
Absolutely.
So we gonna get these vitals up.
I agree with that. We gonna get your blood pressure down. We about to hook you up so you can face
You're gonna
trial.
be more healthy now than you have ever been in your life.
No excuses. We gonna get this trial together. We gonna say you sane, you healthy. We
all
about to get it all through.
I would be putting in my best effort.
Yeah.
I'll be putting holy oil, like, God, please heal his body. I'll be praying with him. Everything.
Looking at the Grey's Anatomy book, like, okay.
The Grey's Anatomy book, really? Really?
Man, isn't that a real book too?
It is. It is. That's why it's so funny.
Like, listen, you are not sick, sir. You not having panic attacks. You're good, okay?
I be rebuking every type of virus and everything, anxiety, all of that. Like, Lord put him in his right mind.
Yes, because you about to face this judge. Like, no, we cannot let you slip away this time.
I'd be excited, like, good morning, Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Like,
he getting that A1 service.
Yes.
Like, I'm fluffing pillows. I'm doing it all.
Everything.
Are you comfortable? Okay.
Right.
Changing bedpans. I got you, sir. We gonna make sure you make it to this courtroom. Listen, I'm gonna be there on your behalf.
I'll be examining every type of fluid that left his body. Like, we gonna keep you in good health.
All of that.
But yeah, I believe, I don't know if it was in Chicago, but in the state of Illinois, he was going to have some sort of, he was supposed to be hosting some sort of party.
Yeah, an event. Was it like his birthday celebration or something? But he was supposed to have some type of an event in Chicago. Or Illinois, rather. Yeah. Maybe not Chicago. And they was like, no, it's a wrap. And for him, again, this narcissism is so real with him. And he spoke out about that. Like, you could tell, like, he was in his feelings about it, because he was like, yeah, for like some unforeseen reason, like, this event is canceled. Like, that has never happened. Because, in Illinois, like, people was rocking with him. Like, he was pretty much untouchable, from what the documentary was sharing, that he was pretty much untouchable in Illinois. And for that venue to be like, nah, we don't want you. Like, that kind of hurt his soul a little bit, I feel like. But that's that narcissism where it didn't go his way. And he was completely delusional about it. Like, he's steady, like, trying to not be guilty, but he's guilty AF.
Right.
And he makes it this delusional thing, like, so because of some unforeseen reason, or I don't know why you know why they don't want you there, sir?
Right, exactly.
Like, why are we acting confused?
Well, maybe you know what? He's been getting away with it, so maybe he's like, he just doesn't believe.
In his mind,
if you think you're untouchable, then
in his mind, I believe he thinks it. Well, no, he knows that he's untouchable. Well, he was, because now I feel like it's about to hit the fan at this point.
And so I just saw an article. It said that R. Kelly's manager threatened the Georgia family the day that the docuseries was coming out, saying that it would be best if it didn't air.
Wait, which family?
Let me see.
Or was that the showing?
I think it was the Savage family. Yep, it was the Savage family. Oh,
wow.
Yep.
Is that the same guy that called in the gun threat to the other?
So there was another guy that called in. So this was the premiere of the and actually I think, was it done live, because Angela Yee
she was supposed to be there
hosting it. And before they got started, there was bomb threats.
Yeah.
And they traced it back to a Chicago number, and then they traced it back to someone on his staff. And so that was another thing, like, so what did he do? Star 667? Like,
not Star 667.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, technology is just so amazing.
It really is.
I would, if I were, well, first of all, I would never call in a bomb threat.
Yeah, that's first and foremost. No, we're not going to do that.
But number two, if I would really try to make sure that it's not traceable back to my phone.
Like, you need like a tech person to do that.
Maybe he used an app of some sort. I don't know. But I would probably
because clearly they charged it. They got it right back to him, right, like that area code. Because I mean, you could have used like the Google number. Listen, come on, could have used the Google number.
Yeah,
I don't know, sir. Like,
burner phone,
right? Anything. Why would you call from your phone?
He could have went to a public place, but I don't know if they would even let you use their phone at a public place, because they would be like, "Sir, everyone has a cell phone."
Right.
But
my goodness.
I don't know.
And now he's taking a rap for that, which makes me think though too, like, if if he really did it, or is he being a scapegoat to just take the fall for it, or if he's really dumb enough to have done something like that. Like, what is I know R. Kelly, I'm sure he's wealthy. I don't know. They keep saying he broke now, but I'm not sure what the case is with his finances. But there's not enough money in the world for you to do something and then to have me do something to take the fall for you, and now I'm going to jail.
But they said, and so I don't know if this is in the docuseries because I've been listening and reading so many different things on this topic. But one source commented that he would do things to hold things over the people that work for him. Wow. Like, for example, he would have something drafted saying that you stole from him or that you did something like negatively against him, and then have you sign it. Like a confession. And then he would use that as collateral. Like, he would use that to, in case he needed, when he needed you to do stuff. And I think that people would take the fall for him, or if he's saying like, I'm gonna keep your family safe. They said that he would make physical threats against them, and that he was working with the police. So if you feel like there is no safety,
that's crazy. Like,
because there was one lady or one girl. Her sister was actually with her, couldn't find her, had this whole big thing. It was part of the docuseries, and then when she was finally able to find her sister, and then she was able to get in contact with her parents, she didn't tell them anything about it because he was like, I will hurt your family, I'll make you disappear, like all type of stuff. And when you know that he's working in connection and conjunction with the police,
yeah, it's hard to stand apart from that. But that's really crazy. Like, how does one man obtain so much power? Like,
it's really about the money.
Oh yeah,
that's where it really comes from.
It does.
So if he's giving these people what they want and what they need, giving the police kickbacks, these people on his team, taking care of them, and then not only that, but if all these years they've been doing dirt for him, then they were party to a crime. So who you gonna tell on? Exactly. How you gonna tell on me when you the one who did it? I can't read and write. So you the one who drafted these papers.
Exactly.
You the one who forged the documents with Aaliyah.
So you in trouble
you
too.
You did it.
Yep.
I was the mastermind, but you executed it.
That is very true. And
I can't tell on you now because me and you did this thing together.
Which is so messed up.
So now I'm actually tied because I have to probably keep doing
whatever you say.
Whatever it was that I've been doing.
Because I'm stuck, like Chuck. But in that case, I say, everybody involved got to take these L's. Like, everybody. Because I feel like for it, I don't think this can ever be righted. But in some form of justice, like, everybody who was a part of this got to take a L. Like, you got to. So that includes, managers and people who, was signing stuff for them, especially these Chicago PD. Like, y'all got to take these L's, and justice has to be served. Like, that's just
people
ridiculous.
Usually want to. I think that people will spill the beans if they can walk away with their hands clean.
Oh, sure.
And I think that a lot of times, they can set up different deals and things like that where, hey, we'll get it off your record, we'll do this, we'll do that, but we need your confession, or we need whatever. But Sony apparently dropped R. Kelly.
About time.
Shouts out to Sony.
Shout out to Sony. It is about time.
I want to take my toast back. I want to give it to Sony.
Yeah, there you go. I reneged my toast.
No, the toast still goes to the MPHC as a whole, right?
But Sony is the real MVP this week. But nah, for real though, they are. They really are. And I was worried at first because the first reports were that they had stopped his music because he was apparently still making music, which is trash in my opinion. Like, R. Kelly, you're done. But then they was finally like, they dropped him. So I'm like, that's huge. Because he's been with them forever. That is huge. So I don't know. I wonder, is there some type of way, I don't know what his contract looked like, but to see if he could, if he's going to walk away with his, catalog of music.
You mean, do they own the rights?
Yeah,
to his music?
because if so, if he owns the rights to it, if people don't stop playing his music, he would forever, make money off of that.
Right. And you know what? I didn't realize how many songs he had written.
Girl,
tons. The other day, I saw that he wrote, Black Boom Like an 808.
Really?
And I was like,
what? That's a jam.
Because, I was watching Atlanta Housewives and I was like, yes, like an 808,
That's
honey.
a
And then I went to go look for it because I was like, I'm about to play it. And then it was like written by Art. And I was like, oh, no, you've got to be. And then they
can't
said,
listen to nothing.
They said that Omarion, they're getting, B2K is getting ready to go on tour.
Yeah.
And they said that they wouldn't, there's some hits that they won't be performing because they were written by R. Kelly.
That's
and they
crazy.
said that the fans was upset because those was their hits, but he was like, "I'm sorry, we have to do our part. This is the least we could do." So,
oh wow, we can't listen to nothing then because a lot of stuff he made some jams. Like, oh, that really makes me sad then. But whatever. I mean, we have to stand on top of it to be like, nah, we really have to mute him.
Yep.
So if like I said, if he does own the rights to his catalog, not his royalties.
Well, they say that that's where most of the money comes from anyway, is really the writing.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. Yeah, and then that forces a lot of artists to be like, okay,
but
that's my song.
I just assumed that Candy wrote 808.
I thought she did too.
Like, I just made that whole assumption. I was like, nope, that's a Candy verse.
I did not know he wrote that, but that was a jam. So yeah, and that, like I said, that would tie a lot of artists hands behind their back because then they're like, well, I mean, this is my song, but he wrote it. Like,
well, I think that what's happening is momentum is being built, right? We have different artists coming out saying, I want this pulled off of all streaming platforms, and they're making public statements saying that they do not support, and they have the platform and the clout and the influence to do that. And then once they do it, then we do it, right? So
yeah, and I'm glad it's all working.
However, ex-wife, what's her name? Drea Kelly is saying, oh, did you see her live where she was talking about he's brilliant and this, and like just kind of praising?
Shut up. No, I did not see that.
And I'm like, this is a direct contradiction
to what you just was saying on the documentary.
And she's like, he's a great provider for my kids.
No, she didn't say that.
All of that.
Because on the documentary she was like, no, you haven't done anything for our children.
So that's what she was saying. And so I mean, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if she felt threatened because people were muting him and that affects her income. You know what I mean? If she's thinking like, okay, I wanted to put him on blast because I don't want people to get hurt, but I don't want my lifestyle to stop. And of course, these are my assumptions. I don't know what her thought process is or was, but I'm assuming that she's now realizing like, wait a minute, I'm going to get hit in this crossfire. Yeah. Because if they mute him, they gonna mute me.
Listen, and money, cash rules everything around me. Shout out to Wu-Tang. But no, that's crazy though. I feel like in her, I mean, if you want to make some money, she totally can profit off of all of this, all of what's happening. Write a book. Tell us what happened.
She is writing a book.
Then girl, no, like
right after she left, I don't know if she was on The View or what it was, but right after that she had made a live talking about she was going to go meet with her publisher.
Yes, that's what I would suggest, because people will want to hear the story, but not if you're gonna be like half in and half like wishy-washy. We don't want to hear that story where 1 minute you're condemning him and then the next minute you're praising him. We all get it. He's a musical genius. Nobody's taking that away from him. We know that, but he's a evil person. Like, no.
And so, and I mean, I don't know. So to me, I don't really know what to make of it. I think that both are true. I think that a lot of times we think a monster is always angry, like, like this horrible, evil persona all the time. But the real monster, the real wicked monster, is the one that has that's in sheep's clothing, right?
Exactly, hiding in plain sight.
Is the manipulator, right? The sweet, kind, caring, loving provider, etc. Yeah, that will break you mentally and hold your mind in captivity.
Yeah, he must have gotten to her or his camp or somebody, but I'm appalled that she said that. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to pull that up, but that's crazy.
I don't know. I think initially I was, but then later, I was thinking about what one of the psychologists said when she was on there. She said on average it takes a woman 7 times to leave an abuser. 7 attempts. They'll come back willingly. You know what I mean? Because you have your identity is gone. Yeah, you have now become this new person who's gonna want me after this.
Yeah, and I have children and all that, right? All this baggage.
And I mean, and she has been trapped in this thing this whole time. So I don't know what to make of it. And, you know, people are making all types of comments about it. I kind of believe both of her stories. I think that she does think he's a musical genius. I think that she does want people to continue to support her because support him because it will support her. I do think that she wants the abuse and all that stuff to stop and for everybody to know, you know, who he is. But I think that she probably can't have both. Yeah, no. She wants both.
Yeah, she can't have it both ways because then what is that telling the women who stepped out and spoke against him? Like, you're kind of you're defeating the battle of what's happening. So you can't one day say this and then the next day say that, because that's, you know, in this situation, women already has a hard time doing it because of, you know, women who don't want to speak up or women who lie about it and then the guy gets in trouble. So it's already kind of this thin line of who do we believe? What's real? So you can't go back and forth to be like, okay, well, one day he's a great provider. If that's the case, I mean, honey, go get a job, go dance. Like, you're a talented dancer, you got something, but don't do it because of that. And this is allegedly. So if it is because, you know, it's interrupting her money and what she gets, I mean, do something about, you're a woman, you strong, you beautiful, like, go get out there and do whatever you need to do to support your children, but don't go back on what you, or don't make it gray. Like, you can't be gray. Yeah, you either black or white here.
I think that she can continue to be successful and have her lifestyle, but she just may need a different vehicle, and it just may no longer be him. It may be her. Yeah, you know, I think that she could use this to propel herself to be an advocate. Yep. You know, to make sure that stuff like this ceases to happen.
I agree. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
But I think that it could just be that she feels threatened. You know, like I said, all this stuff is alleged. I don't know.
It is alleged. And that's why I was like, I wonder, could it have been somebody from his camp, like, threatening her, which is very possible at this point, because I feel like they clearly are minions and doing whatever he tells them to do for them, which is crazy to me. But if that's the case, I mean, hire some security, but you gotta be strong. So yeah, that's what I feel about it. Like, we've had too many women at this point really step out and be brave on, you know, things that have happened to them, sexual abuse and whatnot. And we don't want to backtrack on that. Like, I feel like we're in a good spot where people are like, we need to do better by women, and that's what we need. And we don't want to backtrack to be like, okay, now y'all lying. Like, no, because it's odd.
Yeah. And I do think that we have to have consistent, clear messaging as well. And I think that people are becoming confused because they're like, well, what are you saying? Yeah. What do you want us to do?
Yeah, exactly. What do you want us to do?
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot. And then I thought I saw a report too of the one young lady who her mom had rescued her. And she went back to him again.
She did. Yeah. Oh, wait, you mean again?
After the documentary. Now that it's aired, but now she's still, like, with him.
Okay, and this is the young lady that they tattooed her, made her just like a boy, cut her hair. Yeah. Yes.
That was so crazy. Her mom is so pretty, too.
Oh, yeah, her mom is gorgeous.
Yeah, she was pretty.
But that's what they say. It takes on average, seven times.
Wow. And when I saw reports of that, I was just like, wow. Because her and the Jocelyn, I don't know how to say her name, Jocelyn or whatever, they were together again. Like, somebody had spotted them together again. And I was just like, come on. Like, go away from him.
So I was just listening to Red Table Talk. So the young lady, Lisa Van Allen, she was on there. So Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett, they did 2 parts with her on there. And then on the second part, they included her daughter. And they also included the psychologist.
Nice.
That was on
from
there
the documentary?
From the documentary. Okay. And one of the things that she said is that we have to understand, because Gammy, who is Jada Pinkett's mother, was saying that, you know, when you hear stories like this, you're like, okay, you're grown, you have the freedom to leave. Yep. You know, if this is so bad, get up and go. But she said that you have to understand a couple things, that this started when they were children.
Yeah. That's what people fail to realize. Like, this didn't happen to these grown women. Right. They were girls.
So it began when they were children. And then she talked about how what he does is create identity distortion. And I think it showed up really well with that one girl who they pretty much made into a boy.
Yep.
You know, so once I put this new identity on you, and I've been doing it repeatedly for years, and things have been escalating.
Yeah.
This is now who you are. Right? So then, like she said, then it becomes, so she was saying how like the tattoos is like branding. Like,
you mine.
You my property.
This is my property. Oh,
it's
my
like when
goodness.
you're slaves. It's just like, to me, it's just like when people would say, okay, if it's 2,000 slaves and, you know, one master, how come they didn't just leave?
Listen. And that's what I keep told myself as I was watching this. Like, it's really hard for me to be like, what would I would have done in this situation?
Yeah, because you never know. But I think that when you're, so some slaves were born into slavery.
Yeah.
Some of them were taken from their land. And I think that the ones that were taken are probably the ones that was running. That was like, oh, because I know what freedom is.
Exactly.
Right?
I know this ain't right. But if you're born into
systematic,
it.
And then when you think about the whole Willie Lynch theory, when they were saying how what they do is they create division amongst the slaves, you can't rise up together because you guys are not together.
Exactly. And think about the power in that. It's been 400 years since the first Africans landed in America. 400. That's crazy.
So then she was talking about how he had this, he made them all do this needle and an eye pact.
What?
Where it's not an actual needle and an eye, but it's basically an agreement that you make with him that I don't care what they do to you, you never tell anything. So if that is your way of being, and you started that when you were a child. The other thing that she said is that, okay, so Lisa Van Allen was saying how, you know, when you're young, you don't know what love is. And a lot of us girls didn't have it modeled for us.
Yeah.
And then you figure, well, he's an adult.
Yep.
You know, he's a real adult.
Yeah, he's gonna show me.
Yep. So then the psychologist was like, you're literally relying on him to show you something that you don't know. So whatever he shows you, that's what you're going to believe.
Yep.
So I think that's the chain, that the stronghold on them mentally
that he has,
that we can't see. So even when you are rescued, you know,
you need to go back to that comfort. That's the Stockholm syndrome.
Because now you forgot who you were.
Yeah, and now you need to go back because that's normal.
Because, you know, that girl mama came and got her.
She did.
Please just come home. Please, like when she was begging her, I was just in tears. Like, oh my God, please just go.
That
please
part,
go.
I was just like, yes, like, her mama was
nothing worse than a mother crying out for their child.
That's a fact. Because I'm like, as a parent, you will do anything for your kid, like anything. So to see her go through that and pull her daughter out of that hotel room, I was just like, I know my mama would have did it. I know I would do it for my son. Like, no, like we gotta go.
Right. And I believe all of that.
Yeah.
Because moms, they be
on it. Like, they don't play no, and she wasn't playing no game. She was like, wait to 6. Wait to 6.
Right.
Like, Soldier Boy, I ain't waiting. I'm going to get my baby now. Which is crazy, but wow.
Then one of the things that she said that, so you remember that song, I Don't Mean It? I may holler at you. I don't mean it. I may say that we're through. So she was saying how they would fight. They would get into like all of this stuff. She would break her down, and then
Lisa Van Allen said this? Okay.
And then R. Kelly would come like the next day, like, I wrote you this song. What? Make it. It's a hit.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it was, but you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like this weird dichotomy of like abuse
and then love together.
And one of the things that the therapist said that I was like, okay, this is great. They don't want the relationship to stop. They just want the abuse to stop.
Yep.
And so they always remember when they first met him.
Yep. And how nice he was.
Nice. He took care of me. He did this. Where's that guy? I just want to I'm going to hold on because we're going to get back to that guy. I love that guy. I don't want the relationship to stop. I just want the abuse to stop. So what do I have to do? I need to act a certain way. Okay. He don't want me to talk to the other girls. Okay. He want me to have a threesome. Okay, fine.
Well, whatever it is to get back to that.
Right. Because I just want the abuse to stop. So I'm just going to be very obedient. I'm going to learn everything that makes him tick. I'm going to make sure his water's the right temperature. I'm going to make his pancakes right. I'm going to wear what he wants me to wear. You know what I mean? He want me to cut my hair? Fine. I'll cut my hair because I just want the abuse to stop.
That's not crazy, but that's how that goes. And it makes me think, I wonder what the therapist would say, like, how did R. Kelly learn to be like that? Like, how did he learn to manipulate in that manner? Because I feel like that's some slick manipulation there.
So one thing that she said, and obviously she did not assess R. Kelly.
Sure.
But one of the questions was to Lisa Van Allen is like, were you ever just waiting for somebody to come save you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And she said, well, so, and this is the other thing too. He knew all their secrets. So remember back when he was being nice, he knew that she was in foster care. Mm-hmm. She was sexually abused before she met him.
Yep.
And then he also knew that she was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
So then, you know, he would say stuff like, what is it about you that you want to change? Like, so if they open up to him and say like, oh, my self-esteem is bad, or I just don't think
that's his hook right there.
Whatever. So they're giving him everything
the ammunition
that he needs to play on. Then on top of that, one of the things that the therapist was saying is that, okay, the question was also, are people who are abused more likely to abuse? Mm-hmm. And she said there are plenty of people that abuse that have not been abused.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of people that abuse that have been abused.
Yeah, that correlation, right? I was definitely going to be like, I don't agree with, because, I mean, no. I'm not about to go abuse people just because that happened to me. Like, no.
But she was saying that a lot of times this is what happens. So we can't say that this is what happened in his case.
Right.
But this is what happens, right? If an adult is sexually abusing the child, they make it the child's fault. Mm-hmm. They say things like, well, you turned me on.
Yeah. Or you wore that.
You wore that. You rubbed up against me.
Yep.
Or they'll say, well, you liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? You had an orgasm. You liked it.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So then the child then says, I want to be on the other side of that.
Yep.
So that's power and control and sex, right?
And that's what I see in this case with him, right? At least.
So then it's like, well, I'd rather be on the flip side.
The powerful one.
And then not only that, but the person that's doing that is usually a loved one.
Yep.
So this may be the same person that takes you to school every day, that combs your hair, that buys you whatever. Like this, you know, this could be the same person. So you get love, sex, all control, together. Power, abuse, all of that stuff is all kind of, you can't separate them.
And then in R. Kelly's case, that may be his ideal of what love is, if that's what he experienced as well.
Right. And so then if you think that's what it is, then you're going to choose, well, which role do I want to play? Oh, I'd rather be the other one.
I want to be on the upper hand this time.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one whose fault it is. I want to be the other one in control.
Yeah. And he is... Whoo.
If those are the only two options that I see,
I'm going to pick the best one for me
I'm pick the
this
best
time.
One for me.
Because I know what it feels to be on the other end of that. So, yeah. So... Wow. And again, I just keep thinking, like, you know, when people always say, like, just leave, or that couldn't be me, or I would never. But, I mean, it was R. Kelly, y'all. Like, huge star. Like, this is R. Kelly. He wants to talk to me.
Dropping hit after hit.
That could have been any of us, in all honesty. Like, if I would have seen R. Kelly at the mall, I'm like...
But not only that, but he got girls who had big dreams.
Yeah.
He had girls that were broken, who had big dreams.
Yes.
And then not only that, but nobody was checking for them.
At all.
Because people would just say, oh, them girls was fast. Mm-hmm. Or them girls, you know, they knew what they was doing. The other thing that the therapist said that shocked me a little bit is she said, typically, adolescent black girls, the perception is that they have more, that they should be more responsible than their white counterparts. Excuse me. That they should know better. You know what I mean? And she said the evidence of that is in the judicial system, right? Yeah. How the sentencing is so much more harsh on them.
That's a cultural thing too, I feel like.
Right. But she said on how police and security or authority figures interact with them in the classroom, like it's evident that we assume that they should have more responsibility. Yeah. So when we see an adolescent black girl, we say she knew what she was doing.
Oh yeah, because she should have known, and that's definitely our community type of issue too. Because I feel like with black girls, we do that. Like we don't coddle them as much as we do our boys. Exactly. Like we want them to grow up. We give them all this responsibility,
and we say that
in
they're
our
an
community.
Adult,
yeah, exactly.
And we therefore make them less innocent.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they are still children.
Still children. Yep.
And their minds have not even fully developed yet.
Yeah, so that's something that as a black community we need to look at to say like, no, these are still children at the end of the day. So yeah, it's just crazy. Like I said, I mean, he was a star. It's R. Kelly. So you can't be like, oh, like, that would never be me. Nope. Because you don't know in this situation. You don't know what you would have done. It's hard to put myself in the shoes of any of these survivors.
I think that, you know, when you look back over your life, a lot of the situations that we found ourselves in, the difference is what we chose to say yes to and what we chose to say no to.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that small response has shifted the whole trajectory of our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Has.
Like, oh, I messed around and said yes. Like, oh, why not?
Yep.
You know? And a lot of times we just do impulsive things like that. Like, you know, even you could be out on a date with somebody and, oh, yeah, I felt comfortable. So, you know, we went to this other place or we did this or we did that. And it's like, obviously your intent is not to be involved in some sex trafficking situation.
Exactly.
These girls probably never was like, oh, this is the setup.
Right.
This is the preliminary steps that lead to sex trafficking.
Exactly.
Like, nobody saw that
at all.
And I'm sure that he never presented it in that light. He presented it as a family, as love, as a relationship. And then it ended up being a sex trafficking situation.
That's totally what it is. Which, you know, I mean, I'm glad you called a spade because it is what it is. That's exactly what this is. And at this point, it's just like, I don't know about statute of limitations or how any of that works, but basically that's what he's doing. So we need to prosecute him on that end. So hopefully that's what's kind of being drawn up and in the works. But I just feel like he needs to be held accountable for this. At some point. It's no more like him deflecting and being delusional. Sir, no, we need you to recognize what you're doing. And, you know, I don't know, getting some therapists to talk to him, because again, in his mind, I do believe that this is love for him in his mind. So somebody needs to speak with him to be like, okay, what you did was not right. Like, these were girls. And I'm really not sure if he understands that these were girls, because in the interview with Torre, he was like, so what you mean by teenager? Like, he doesn't understand.
Torre has been called to the carpet as well.
Listen, right to the front of the classroom.
Right to the front of the church.
Listen, and then he tried to deflect. I was just like, nope, get him. Sick him, everybody, because you're guilty too. No.
And I think they said that with Torre, this happened like a year ago.
It was recent.
Yeah. So
yeah, and
I don't know.
And he called it crass banter. Like, sir.
But so what was it? It was just something that he said.
It was something he said to her, and well, he would to repeatedly say to her, like, I wonder what it would be like to have sex with you. I wonder what anal sex would be like. But you don't get to talk to me like that,
right?
So yeah,
and so it sounds like he was trying to kind of dismiss it and kind of say like, this is an apples to apples thing.
Yes,
blah blah. But that's how it starts.
And then once you get away with it, then you get that invincibility. Now I'm untouchable. I can keep doing this.
Speaking of that, that's what the therapist was saying, is that boundaries are tested.
Yep.
And that's why they say if you don't correct stuff early on, it escalates so far that you're like, how did I get here?
Yep.
Like, how did me having a dream, me potentially getting signed and working with a hit maker, turn into me being sex trafficked?
I'm here now with my hair cut off and
somebody
tattoos.
Called in to the Breakfast Club and said, these girls really need their fathers and da-da-da-da-da.
I hate that argument.
And here's the thing that bothered me about that. Girls do need their fathers.
Oh, sure.
Girls need their mamas.
For sure.
But these girls, the girls that he was sex trafficking, they fathers are the ones that was up there looking for.
Exactly.
They had their fathers. And then their fathers are the ones that was like, we didn't want, like, I'm thinking about the young lady, okay, what's her name? The Savage family.
Azriel was one. Her dad.
Like, they had their fathers.
Yeah.
So
what are you saying?
Because they were like, no man would let another man do this to their child.
Ma'am.
Right. Like, it was not, clearly it wasn't set up that way, right? If it was like, hey, would you like to be sex trafficked today? Then
like, no.
Then, no thanks, I'm good. Right. I'm good, love.
I respectfully decline.
Right. But it was like,
it wasn't
hey,
that.
It was more like, hey, do you want to work with Sony? Right. We're interested in signing your daughter. We work with artists such as blah, 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 and R. Kelly.
Yeah.
These artists may appear on your daughter's record. please, like, let's have a meeting to discuss more. Like, that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, and I think initially, like, people were missing the point of it all. And the point is he preyed on these girls. And that's it. The period. City girls. The end. He preyed on these girls. That's what he did. He going to high schools. He's going to McDonald's. He's going to malls. He's going everywhere where children.
His staff to say, go get me girls.
Yes, hang out. He's going where children hang out. He's not going to bars and clubs where grown people hang out.
Right. And not only that, but this whole record deal thing, that was just one way to fish these girls in. It could be at a mall. It could be anywhere. It was anywhere. And then even at his own concerts, he would pull girls up on the stage.
He's seeing what they
you got a 40+ crowd, but you pulling up the youngest people.
Right. She look about 12.
Right.
Pick her.
Let's get her.
Like, no. So that's the whole point. We can't have this argument like they daddy should have been there, or they shouldn't have wore this, or they should have known. No. He preyed intentionally on these girls based on, like Sherry Renee said, their dreams, or just, he kicking it where kids kick it. He probably at the skating rink, at the park. He's wherever children are.
At the ice cream shop, the playground.
He's where the children are. So, I mean, that's Pied Piper. He knew what he was doing.
I will say this, though. And you know what's funny? So after that, then Criminal Minds did the episode. And
really?
And the guy, so what would happen is these kids would go missing. And they would say there was no break-in, but in the middle of the night, the kids would just go missing. And they were trying to figure out, like, what's going on. And they're like, what type of unsub is this? Blah, blah, blah. And then they ended up saying, like, oh, he's like the Pied Piper. Like, the reason why there's no break-in is because the kids willingly came to him.
Wow.
So what happened is, apparently he was sending them, I think he met them all at a camp. That was the only thing that they had in common. And he was sending them some sort of video message that would delete after they played it. And on there, it had, like, undertones of like playground noises and stuff like that. So in the middle of the night, they would get up and go meet up at the playground, and that's how he would capture them.
Oh my goodness!
And take them away, like
so,
the
like
Pied Piper.
Mentally, like playing it. So when they would hear it, they would be like,
yes, like
what?
Oh, I should go. Yes. So you know how they say like there's subliminal messages in music and stuff like that.
That's true.
And why, even if you like, let's say you fall asleep with the TV on, you might have a dream about some element of whatever it is that you saw.
Yeah,
because it gets into your subconscious.
Or commercials about like food or like branding. You're like cheeseburger, cheese. Like if we said cheeseburger 10 times, then later y'all might go buy a cheeseburger.
Right? You want to get a cheeseburger?
I mean, I kind of do. I'm a little hungry.
Been there in a while.
Okay,
But the point is that it was like indirect messaging. And then you know how sometimes they say that songs, if you play them backwards, they have like evil messages encrypted in them and stuff like that. So that's what was going on. And I was like, brilliant timing, Criminal Minds.
That was good. That was a new episode because they on season like 40.
14.
Okay.
14.
They far.
I know, they getting up there with grades.
On the real. But yeah, that was perfect timing that they aired that. I'm gonna have to watch it. I think Hulu plays it. I'm gonna have to watch it.
But to your point, like the Pied Piper, right? He was drawing the kids to him,
drawing them in
to be taken away, never to be seen again.
And that's the point. Like,
but I think what this whole thing did for me is that I put pedophiles in a box, like children.
Oh yeah,
like I literally put them in a box, like infants to maybe like 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
I never considered a pedophile. I guess I never considered an adult messing with a teen.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, that's a pedophile too.
It is. It really is. And like you said, like, I feel like we've seen that. Like, I mean, in high school, we've seen like the older dudes like come into the schools. Like, at least at my school, like they would always be out there like passing out stuff or just like trying to get the girls to come to parties and stuff. But it's like, y'all do realize we're in high school because you're here at our school.
Right, exactly. You came to a high school ground.
You know what's going on here. So yeah, and you don't think of that to be pedophiles, but I mean, it's levels to this. That is.
And I think that what happens is that because we don't associate that label or that language, that sometimes that's how it goes under the radar.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just like younger women, or that's my hot young thing. That's my trophy wife.
Yes, my PYT.
Right? But it's like, you a pedophile.
Exactly. Call a spade a spade. It is what it is. That's, you know that's what you're doing now.
Or she's a cougar.
Yes.
It's like, or
that is true.
Or are you just a pedophile?
That is so funny that we don't think about on the flip side. That women do it too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of teachers. Not me though. just out here like going for the boys, and it's in our society, like on the flip end, like boys would be like, ain't nothing wrong with that, like that's wonderful, like you got an older woman. But no, she a pedophile.
Yeah, I agree. There have been a lot of teachers in the news accused of having sexual relations with high school kids.
And middle school
high
kids.
School and middle school young men. And they have never been called a pedophile.
Never. Like, basically, these women are heroes. Like, people really, like, hype them up. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, she shouldn't be in... Yes, she should.
And I wonder what their charges have been. Like, has it been, like, sexual assault? Like,
or sexual misconduct, I believe is what they call it.
Why isn't it rape?
Exactly.
Why isn't it... You know what I mean?
Like, exactly. On the flip side. Because that's weird to me. Like,
and why
you're
isn't it pedophilia? Yeah.
Yes, you're a pedophile. Because I don't see nothing. Like, that's disgusting. Like, you're nasty. So, yeah. But on the flip, we don't see it that way in our society on that flip side of what that looks like. So,
that's crazy.
It is. It really is.
So, Lisa Van Allen had her daughter on the Red Table Talk, and she was on there crying her eyes out. So, she was talking about how when, so apparently Lisa Van Allen had left R. Kelly, got with another man. Guy was abusive. That guy got her pregnant, and then she ended up going back to R. Kelly to save her, right? And then she was like, I don't know if he thought the baby was his or what, but he would I would have her maybe some pants or some leggings on or something. And he would be like, put a dress on her.
Yeah,
put a dress on her. And he would always give me $300. Like, here, go buy her a dress. Buy her dresses. Have dresses on her. And I'm like, dang, like that's crazy. I don't know what that's about.
Okay, because my heart was beating fast. I'm like, was he trying to be with the little girl too?
I don't know, child.
Okay,
I don't
allegedly,
know.
y'all.
Right.
But my heart was beating real fast.
We should just drop allegedly periodically. Like, we should record it as a drop. And just like just every 15 seconds, just drop it in. Like, in R. Kelly, allegedly.
Allegedly. Because again, we just talking, y'all. These two besties, brunch with besties.
But
just
her daughter was on there crying, her eyes on. She was like, I used to wonder, like, why is my mom so paranoid about everything? Like, she don't let me do anything. But she said, after they watched the documentary together, and she was like, I get it. Like, I get it. It's just, I think that when parents are really strict that in that way, is because they're not playing around. And they don't want the risk. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care what you think about me. But I tell you this. I tell you what ain't gonna happen on my watch.
And that's how it was with my mom. Like, knowing what she had gone through, like, she was very much overprotective of us growing up. And that's why I didn't want to tell her what had happened to me, because I was like, she's going to jail
right today.
I cannot tell her this because I know she gonna go off the deep end. Like, anytime we would go places, like, she was like, did somebody touch you? Was it nice? Like, she would always have these conversations with us.
I think that we as parents though have to, so we as parents, I ain't nobody parent. I ain't nobody mama, but hypothetically hypothetically speaking, I am trying to adopt my niece though, because she's so cute.
No, her mama gonna be like, ma'am, I'm right here, bro.
Every now and again when she'll be like, mama number 2.
What you got on our
right 40? Exactly. We need you to babysit.
Oh, like, real. And you be like, okay.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But I think that when we ask the question that way, the child gets fearful, like something's wrong.
Oh yeah.
So no, you know what I mean.
In my case, I was like, no.
I totally understand why the parent asked it that way, because it's a serious matter.
I need you to understand
what happened while you was up there. Who was there?
Tell me everything. And I was just like,
But I think that, but when you have the conversation and it's aggressive in that way, then the child is more reluctant to share anything, I think.
For sure. I agree.
Obviously in hindsight.
Right.
Because when I do have kids, I'm like, so did he touch you?
On the what real. Happened? Listen, because I find myself asking that to JR, like, did anybody touch your penis? Like, did they touch your private parts? Did they touch your butt? Like, I need to know.
Right.
Like, what's happening? And he'd be like, no, Mom.
Slipping into a song. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes. Did somebody touch your butt?
Did somebody touch your penis?
It's like an ad-lib.
Like Amigos, Alan. Penis. Why are we like this?
I'm really not. Except for when I am. I don't know.
I'm crying. Oh my gosh. But yeah. But seriously though, talk to your kids. That's I think a good point. And when something like that does happen to you, you are like overly like, I don't want this to happen to my kid.
Right.
I think is what happens. And people just really, you hold tight on your kids, but no matter how tight you hold on to your kids, the world will get them. You know, that's kind of facts. But I think to have those open conversations and kind of ease it in and, you know, just...
Yeah, like in the middle of a song.
Yeah. Or ad-lib, you know.
But I think that, like, if I do have children, I think that what I want to do is talk to them as soon as we can have a conversation, like as soon as they're young, like have conversations about sex, and about like all the stuff that goes along with it, and that's where I am. So that it's like a normal thing, so that it's not like now that you're 16,
right? Here it is, right? And I'm at that point too. I mean, JR is only 10 years old, but I feel like right now we need to start having this conversation. And you know, and like I said, right now, at least I talk to him using like real words, body parts. Like I don't say like pee, no, your penis, and I need you to know like, okay, this is what it is. So I've been kind of having that conversation with myself, like you need to start having these conversations with him, because his body is changing. He's growing up, so now I feel like now is a good time to kind of introduce what this is, right? Because if I don't get to him first, the world will. Then he'll try to figure it'll lay that foundation.
But you never know when that's gonna be.
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, you know, should we start younger?
Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now. I haven't had the conversation yet, but I'm definitely thinking about it. Like, I feel like I need to touch it because just from the conversations I hear him having with like friends and teammates, like I feel like he needs that conversation because they're like, oh, she like you. Like they're talking about girls and stuff. So I'm just like, oh, no, let me jump on that.
Like.
Right. My son don't like
only
nobody
thing you can like is a picture.
Exactly. And not even that. Like only like your mama pictures and that's it. So I've been having that conversation with myself. Definitely going to have that conversation with his dad. So if his dad's listened to this episode, then we're gonna have to talk about that. But I think we're getting to that point where we need to jump on it, because I think if somebody would have really sat down with me at like 10, I would have been like, okay, maybe I would have been more reluctant to open up to be like, well, this is what happened to me. Like somebody took this from me already. Like I've already experienced these feelings, and maybe that would have been that that's opening for me.
I think that it should happen earlier. Like not to say that it has to be real deep.
Oh yeah,
but just like high level, so that it's like it's not a secret topic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
Like I remember when my mom was trying to talk to me about sex, and I was like, oh my god, no.
Right?
You know,
no.
But I think,
it is so taboo.
But it is very taboo. But I think that if it would have just been an ongoing discussion from when I could talk, that's
then
true. It wouldn't have been this whole thing,
like,
right? Like exactly. It wouldn't have been a pearl clutching moment. It would have just been like,
oh, this right. We've been talking about this, Mom.
Exactly. Right.
So yeah.
So I don't know, because like when I look at my niece, she's gonna be 2 this summer, and like, because you know, around this age is where you start to tell them like, no, pull your dress down, you know,
and say body parts,
right? Exactly, right. So then it's like, nobody touch you here, you know, except for mommy, you know, stuff like that. So that
and your doctor when your mama's there,
right?
Like,
when your mama's
you
there,
know.
right? And just, you know, like things like that, and then, you know, like just to start it. Like I said, it can be it has to be relevant and appropriate for that age, and then it's a conversation that grows and develops
as they grow and develop,
as they grow and develop. But just to start having it so that it's not too
so shocking,
weird, and then because I think when you just spring it on them, then they're like, when is this thing gonna be over, and when can we never do this again?
Right,
this is crazy.
It is, and it will shock you, and then that tenses them up, and then they'll kind of close up, and then they won't want to talk about it because you've made it so awkward and uncomfortable. So I agree with that too. Yeah.
I'm just gonna send mine over to your house.
You've already done it. Go do that. Listen, I'm gonna
call a meeting.
I'm coming to Jesus. I need to pray about it before I have this conversation with him. But I need to start that.
I'm like, daughter, we're gonna have a sleepover with Auntie Nadia, Auntie Chanel,
and they gonna talk to you about something really important.
And once a month, y'all gonna have the same sleepover. Mama can't be there.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. This just happens to be date night with your dad.
Hey, you never know.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, we got to keep it real with our kids, and I think once we don't make it so taboo, and we just be open and honest with our kids, and we can kind of alleviate some of these predators out of here. Like,
yeah. And then too, I think that if the child is more open, because this whole sex trafficking, pedophilia, molestation, like because those things are they start small and then they escalate. I think that the child would be more likely to even just share when they felt uncomfortable in somebody's presence. Yeah. Even when they didn't do anything, maybe they said something that rubbed them the wrong way. Like they said, "Ooh, what size bra do you wear?" Or something like, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm 12. Why you asking me? Girl, what's like what?
Yeah, I was at the I'm 32. I went to the gas station and the gas station dude was like, "Hey, sexy," and I was like, no. Right. Like, why are you covering yourself up? I really felt uncomfortable. Like, no, don't say that to me. Like, I was just like, bro, you don't even know me. Like,
right, exactly. Mad at him. I don't know where I was, but I was walking in the door, and the man was like, "Ooh, why you out here looking like that?" And I was thinking, like, looking like what, sir? I have on a pea coat. I'm covered up. Right. What are you talking about? Like,
what more do you want from me?
You can't go nowhere. Right? Should I take off my lipstick? Is that what's doing it?
I'm just like, and people have to understand that, like, being a woman is difficult.
It's hard, man.
It's really hard. It really is hard because women don't go around talking to men like that. Like, how you doing, sexy? Look at your butt. Like, we don't do that. At least I know. So just think, like, you walking around every day, like, you have to hear
But if we did, they nasty selves probably would like it.
They might, like, okay, let me show it to you.
But then I was thinking, like, with that woman, I'm like, I could be married. Like, what, like, you don't just talk to people like that.
And that's what I was thinking, too, about the gas station dude. Like, sir, like, my husband's outside. He works 2 jobs. Like, he will fight you. Like, I don't know. Right. But people don't know that.
Next time, I'm going to be like... I'm gonna be like, well, now that I got my... I'm gonna act like I had like a gender change or something, because these men gotta stop doing stuff like that, because you don't get to choose how I respond to you.
And that's true. And shout out to our transgender people, we love y'all too. But that's facts though. And then when they find out about transgender like women, then they get upset. But
exactly. But like, my point with that is that, okay, you're making a lot of us, you're assuming that you can talk to me like this, and you can't.
Exactly. Based off of like physical appearance, like that's all you see.
And you don't know who I am
or what I got
or what I have.
I could be carrying a piece. You don't know nothing about me.
I'm a killer.
Listen, I could be, and you don't know none of that. So it's just like it's hard.
Yeah, but I'm gonna respond back in a deep voice next time. I work on my deep voice, and we're gonna see what happens.
I hope I'm there, because hopefully I'll laugh.
Me and Scarlett and I, this is shame on us for doing this, but I think I told you guys on the podcast, y'all, my besties.
Well, we'll share it again with the besties.
That we used to walk down to Marquette after school during the summer, get our little steps in. We thought we was cute. And like when guys would try to talk to us, so whoever he was talking to, we would act like that one was deaf.
Yes,
and so then we would sign to each other,
making up signs.
But it would be like,
they don't know,
because we didn't know any real sign language.
Nicole on Little Rascals.
Yes, we would do the Little Rascals under the chin thing, spirit fingers, all type of stuff. Because we ain't know no sign language, and they would be like, "What? Wait, so she's deaf?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, but I got you."
I can totally see y'all both doing that.
We were so stupid. But, the point is...
Hey, you don't know me. You don't. Is the point. And it's hard being a woman.
But I do think that I think that the reason why things were able to get this far and escalate, number one, is because of how rape culture,
Oh, yeah.
It went right along with it. It aligned. It fit. But I think now... we got all these different movements. Because one thing that broke my heart about Lisa Van Allen is she was like, when she first came on there, she was like, oh, how did it feel to get the documentary out? She broke down in tears, and she was like, I came out in 2008 and nobody would listen to me. Nobody heard me. She was like, it feels so good to be heard.
And think about all the other survivors that's living with that, who just feel like they haven't been heard. Even the creator of the Me Too movement, that's not new. It's new now, and it's big now because white women kind of got on board with it. But she's been doing this since like 2006. Yeah,
right.
Like she's been doing this too. So for it to finally be like, okay, now we hear y'all, like, finally. And even the lady who testified against the Brad Kavanaugh, the judge, Even her sharing her story and speaking out, like, that took years for her to do that. And it's sad that, you know, but again, that's that we gotta be sure, or not be sure, but it's been so many false allegations that it was just so confusing of what's fact and what's fiction.
Right. And I agree that there's always going to be false allegations, but I don't think that we should ever
ignore it. Yeah, we shouldn't dismiss
what
I
someone's
agree.
saying. It's like, oh, interesting.
And let's get the facts.
Right.
Say what you gotta say,
get the facts. Like,
and then let's get the facts.
Let's look into that. But I think that, you know, people want to know why people coming out now because people are listening.
Exactly.
Now you got Me Too. Now you got the Time's
And who's
Up.
to say?
So now people are listening.
Frame.
So now they may feel like things could be made
exactly.
right.
And who's to say there's a set time frame, like, oh, you have to say within 30 days. That's not how this works. Like, I'm going to speak up when I feel comfortable, I've healed enough, or whatever the case may be. Who knows?
Not only that, but you got to have thick skin to go in front of everybody publicly while you're trying to heal.
A whole world of people.
Like, and that's why R. Kelly's daughter, she was like, you know, I'm not trying to be negligent in this, but it's hard to try to heal and speak out on something when you know you're going to get backlash. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard you got to pick one.
Yeah.
And tough. I got to do what's best for me. And right now, I'm trying to heal. I'll get back to y'all later.
I know that's right. And then with the way social media is, it's just a lot of factors that will make that a difficult choice to make, to even want to share your story. Because people can be really mean. And ignorant and uneducated, and
if you're already at a low point and you already feel worthless and feel like no one cares, and then people are calling you all types of cruel names, asking you if you're doing this for money, and like, those people might become suicidal for sure.
That's easy. Like, the door's open for that at that point, because people can be really, really cruel. So, wow, yeah, that's really sad that she's been saying that and nobody's listening. I mean, we knew back in 95 about Aaliyah, and nobody was really like,
Well, we met, you know, I think everybody raised an eyebrow, but that was it. Like, it was like, oh, well, she making music. She sings, so she must be good. You know?
She must be just fine, but
everything must be okay.
This is... Years.
Now, what was that song again? You know what I mean?
Like, turn that song back up.
Right.
Years of abuse. And now it's finally coming to light. But that's what it says. You know, you do things in the dark, and it will come to light eventually. So, yeah. We gotta continue to mute this R. Kelly. Don't listen to his music. I was going through my what is it called? Apple Music. So, yeah, I gotta delete some of his stuff off of mine. I thought I did, but some of it still showed up. I'm like, goodness, let me go through all of this to get it on out of my library, because you ain't gonna get none of my money off of me. But, yeah, I'm glad we did another part to this, because it was a lot watching that 6-part documentary. It was a lot to take in and a lot to process. But now that, you know, more stories are coming out, and now to see, you know, his fake panic attacks, they might be real, who knows, allegedly. And now that he has been dropped from his record label, and we kind of see some stuff happening, and people really are like, no, we will not stand with you anymore for this. And I think he needs to own up to his crimes as well. I think that's what we're all waiting for him to finally be like, all right, y'all, I did it.
Right.
Like, don't give us this half song of, what is it called? I admit. We don't want that. Like, we need you to sit down and be like, look, y'all, this is what I did.
Where he didn't really admit anything.
And he didn't.
Well, nothing that he's been accused of.
Glossing over stuff and being delusional. Like, you're the victim. Like, ain't no picket signs chasing you for just no reason. Like, we need you to understand this is what you did.
It's what you did, man. I mean, I think that, you know, you'll pay in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah. He's got to. So that's definitely my hope and prayer for Mr. Kelly. Because, this don't work. So, yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that about covers it. There's all types of news breaking. One about the studio in Chicago, where they're saying that he made all these renovations and that he's using it as a home, and he's denying that, and they're trying to bring about criminal charges. They're actively looking for criminal charges. they're looking for different witnesses, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. I guess I don't know what. Given that that the documentary aired, like, why can't he just be in custody?
That's what I don't.
I think that's what I want.
I have the hiccups.
I think that's what would make me satisfied right now. Would just be that he's being held.
I wonder. Well, they would have to come at him. Well, yeah, because I think they can, because the first trial was like child pornography, like that was the case.
But I don't understand why he's not being charged with everything that he could be charged with. Like, don't just pick one, do all of them.
And that's why I didn't get the first time, but I guess they had the tape. But this time, yeah, it could be like human trafficking, like
it should be sex trafficking.
Yeah.
It should be pedophilia.
Yeah, all
of
of that.
It should be child pornography. It should be abuse.
Everything. Let's throw the whole book at him.
Like everything.
The whole law book.
Like somebody should look up a list of laws.
Yeah, and just
go through them one by one and be like, oh, it could be that one.
He
too.
broke this and this and all of it.
Endangering minors, like it should be all type of stuff. Just throw it all in there. See whatever sticks. Whatever sticks. Whatever falls away.
Hey, but we got something. At least we got some stuff going on for
exactly.
him. Yeah, I agree with that. There has to be something, and hopefully that's coming next. That somebody. Some lawyer team will stand up to be like, all right, we about to do this for real this time. And, hopefully, all of the survivors are still on board to like testify and all of that stuff, and not
I don't even know if it should necessarily have to. It should be like the people versus R. Kelly.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, it can be Lisa Van Allen and all those individual victims too, but it should also be like
the people.
It should be like the state of Illinois, the city of Chicago, the state of Georgia.
Yes,
the people. I don't know, whatever.
No. Look at your little law mind turning here, though. That's good. All right, American Crime Story. That sounds like the next one. The people against R. Kelly. I like that. No, that's good. Yeah, we need to get on that. So, yeah, the law enforcement and lawyers, write that up. Yes,
all of it.
He needs to be held accountable for what he has done to people. And
I think that they should make everyone who interacted with him. So if you were an officer that visited one of his homes when they were doing those, what are they called?
Wellness visits.
Mm-hmm. They should be pulled in.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
Everybody taking L's. I don't. If you was a part of it, you taking the L.
Staff.
Yep.
If you work, Sony should be releasing names.
Yeah. I'm for all of that. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's taking L's. If you had any part in this.
And then it should be, hey, everybody.
Yep.
We're going to let all y'all stuff go. If y'all just tell the truth.
The whole truth.
Provide evidence.
Yes, come with receipts.
We can do this the hard way or the easy way.
It's up to y'all.
Either you can volunteer the information and we'll let you free, or we can do our own daggone investigation.
And you going to jail.
And everybody's going to jail at the full count with no mercy.
Yes. Either you listen. I'm with that.
Now, here's the thing. I wonder, will people come out and support him at his trial like they did last time?
And you know what? And I listened to the Breakfast Club episode too, like after the documentary aired, and just from some of the callers, I feel like people would still support him.
Yeah, because it was like, you trying to hold a black man down.
Yes, people will still support him because, again, they cannot separate the art from the artist. They can't do it, and in this case, you have to do that. Like, he hasn't shown any growth or remorse or any of that, so you have to no, we cannot continue to support you. So I think there would be still people holding up their little pictures of R. Kelly and out there trying to get shows, because I feel like even at the event that was canceled, people were trying to go to the event.
True indeed. I'm wondering why nobody ever went undercover. Like an adult woman that look, you know how some women just maybe they're really petite
to catch a predator type stuff.
Yeah, and they have a high pitched voice.
Yeah,
and, the perception is just that they're so young and innocent, but they're really an adult, and maybe they're part of some sort of investigation. They're like an undercover cop. Like, I think that somebody should have did that. Like, had her boots on the ground,
infiltrate. Is what
in the house, really just getting facts on recordings or whatever, just on what's going on. That
would have been good.
And how he does it.
But if Chicago PD was in cahoots, who knows?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Allegedly, they're in cahoots.
Yeah, allegedly. We'll have to do some alleged drops throughout this episode. Like every 3 seconds, y'all just gonna hear the word allegedly.
But, you know,
it's gonna be like, I'm Sherry Renee, allegedly. And I'm Chanel, allegedly.
This is Brunch with Besties podcast, allegedly.
Oh goodness.
But no, that would have been tight, and they would have had like a whole like sting operation on them, like, and the dude from To Catch a Predator like showed up, like, so R. Kelly, you're like, girl, that would have been crazy. Yeah, you know, I don't know, but I mean, he could already be in jail at this point. That would have happened, I think, or he could have been in there. But here we go. It's never too late to right a wrong, and we got to right this wrong. For sure.
I don't know if we can ever really make that right. We can make it better.
We can make it better. For sure.
We can make it right.
Yeah, it's not ever going to be right. Because the survivors, their lives are forever changed by what happened to them. And you can't rewind.
But I'm hoping that that what they went through won't be in vain, because it'll shift our culture.
I hope so.
You know, back to, I don't know, respecting women, maybe.
Listen, I don't know about back to, because I feel like rape culture been going on since man and woman. So I don't know.
Well, I guess
we could ever go back, right? Like even in biblical times, it was some stuff. It was just like, okay, y'all, that's what we doing to women. Huh?
He said, "Do you have any daughters?"
Right.
Like what?
Like, sir, I'm a Jezebel. Okay, God. All right then. So yeah.
All right. Well, what's in the to-go box?
The to-go box for me is, you know, everybody got to take those L's. So if you were a part of it, you signed off on something, you took money from him for something, you turned a blind eye, you got to take a L. You got to go down with him. You got to, you know, sink with the ship. All of that, all of those innuendos, y'all got to get served as well. That's my takeaway.
Yeah. And mine is that even though some guys may not go as far as R. Kelly did, or to that extent, that they still have to be accountable and responsible for their actions as well. Trying to touch women, rubbing up against them, making these comments and saying, oh, no, I was just talking. No.
It is real.
It's all real.
I mean, if we did like a raise your hand if you've ever been like groped or touched, like every woman would raise their hand.
It should be who was groped today,
and every woman would still probably raise their hand.
Who was groped this week?
Listen, like it's for those of you who are listening, like fellas, like really like understand it's hard to be a woman. It really is. If you have daughters, understand it. It's gonna be hard for her to be a woman. It's crazy, but hopefully through all of this and all of the conversation that we're having, that we do see a shift in the value of women.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time, peace.
Thanks, guys, for listening to Brunch with Besties podcast. Be sure to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, now YouTube and Google Play. Basically, we airware. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a review and rate us. We would so appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to find us on Twitter. Our handle is BrunchWBesties. On IG, you can find us at Brunch with Besties Podcast. And if you like, you can shoot us an email. Our Gmail is brunchwithbestiespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Peace.